or disorganized. So that is point number two. Point number three, to my mind, is that there are three leaders in various parties who are in various moods of happiness and unhappiness.
Hmm.
I think Sachin Pilot may not be too unhappy. He stands.
Explain
He
explain that a
stands.
little. Explain that a little bit for those who don't follow politics very closely.
No, he stands vindicated that the
Yeah.
Congress needed a revamp in Rajasthan, a new infusion of leadership, a new face, and he was, in spite of many promises to the contrary, sidelined. You will remember that it was largely his efforts which brought the Congress back in 2018. So he stands vindicated. I think Vasundhara Raje may not be very happy because, in spite of the fact that she was not declared the chief minister and was probably marginalized, although later in some form accommodated, and the perception in her mind that she is not among the top favorites of the two people who matter in the BJP. The BJP has romped home with a very decisive victory. The third person is Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's in a new mood of vindication,
Hmm.
where, in a sense, the BJP High Command thought that either he's too getting too powerful, belongs to the old Advani Vajpayee era, or that his popularity has diminished. Uh, uh, and I don't think that has been shown in this. So there are these three things. The last point I want to
Can,
make, just as a last point quickly. You see, there is now clearly emerging a north-south divide. North of the Vindhyas, you have the BJP's essential catchment area. These are population dense areas, so there are more seats there. South of the Vindhyas, the inroads of the BJP are highly limited. And let me say to you that the one win that Congress has got in Telangana is not because of organizational acumen. It is because local leadership was strong and there was genuine fatigue and a mood for change in Telangana after 10 years of KCR and the family rule, and uh, notwithstanding the fact that he has done a lot for Telangana. So, therefore, in Telangana, Congress seems to have come by default more or less, and they fought a good battle. But
yeah.
that is broadly, in my mind, the position.
Can I ask you quickly, because I want to go to Nikhil Dave, who's from Madhya Pradesh, to talk about Shivraj. But Pavan, you don't seem very impressed with how the Congress has run these campaigns. And if there was one thing these are thoughts, of course, of the BJP celebrating. If there's one thing that you would urge the Congress to rethink in the run-up to 2024, what would it be? Just for context, Yogendra Yadav, whom you know is a Congress supporter now, he said on this program that he thought there was a dissonance on the issues that Rahul Gandhi raises. For example, Adani. He said none of the Congress chief ministers want to raise that issue. He said Rahul Gandhi talks about caste census, the cadres don't. There is a dissonance. And the second point he made was alliances, that there weren't enough alliances, that the Congress overestimated itself. Though, just to bring that into context, if there was one thing you would say the Congress needs to do differently, learning from the BJP and how it's run these campaigns, what would it be? I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Can we
Sorry,
just, yeah, yeah, yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes.
I would say two things very clearly: leadership and organization. Leadership and organization. You see, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is well meaning, but Mr. Rahul Gandhi, surrounded by those close to him who have never won an election, in spite of Mr. Kharge rules the roost, and Mr. Kharge is an extremely experienced grassrooted politician, but he has been made president too late. And therefore, you have a situation where the Congress is in the stranglehold of, in my mind, an inept leadership and lacks the will to do the difficult job of revamping and organizing the party. So that is its weakness.
So you just made a very strong statement. The Congress is in the stranglehold of inept leadership. Is there anyone who's seen the opposition bloc who you think is fit to lead the campaign instead of Rahul Gandhi? Or are you talking about somebody else leading the Congress?
No. I think that, first of all, in the Congress, there should be a rethink, not about the lack of importance of the Gandhi family. They have contributed a lot to the Congress. They have given their blood for the nation. But there must be delegation in substantial and real senses to leadership and a far more transparent decision making process, a more, let's say, interactive discussion and debate. I mean, there are matters which are allowed to pend for months. Take, for instance,
Yeah.
this India Alliance Barkha. If it had to show some results during these elections, you meet in Patna in June. You do nothing for 4 weeks. You meet again in Bangalore. You have a nice dinner and do nothing. 5 weeks later, you meet in Madhya Pradesh, in Mumbai. You have dinner and coffee and do nothing. Then you cancel Bhopal. Now, where is the organization? If you were efficient within 1 week of the first meeting in Patna, you would have set up a, a secretariat, come out with a common minimum program, made a working group on seat sharing, swallowed some egos, begun to create an atmosphere where the opposition was seen to be as a coherent, electorally effective bloc. But that never happened, and I'm afraid
The photo.
in this process, the Congress carries much of the burden of failure.
Well, I think those are very strong words that the Congress is in the stranglehold of inept leadership. I want to take that to Matthew of the Congress, but also Nikhil Dave, because Pavan made a very incisive point about Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and I think Sandeep is also waiting, so is Mr. Bhamla. So let's get reactions. Yes, Matthew, go ahead. Matthew Anthony of the Congress, go ahead.
Barkha, to hold the respect of your platform, that's why I'm not interfering while others are speaking and taking so much of things against
Please.
Congress. But I would rather say that just because that in few states our election performances are not coming up to the expectations, it doesn't mean that our leadership is in strangleholds. We had an elected president in the Congress party, which is Mallikarjun Kharge, and we have recently got the CWC in place, and we have got and Pavan made a statement of saying that people who have not contested, are making opinions about, in Rahul Gandhi's team. Now, how many of us have contested elections, and we make so much of remarks and analysis about elections. I, being a part of, being in Mizoram for the last 3 months, and I know about several hundreds of people in all these 5 states working, giving up their everything and working for the party and building the organization. Just because we didn't win the seats, this doesn't mean that we don't have an organization in place. There are certain things which might not have worked with us, or which might not have worked with the people. That doesn't mean that we don't have an organization in place.
But what would you? But Matthew, what would you identify as the weakness then? What would you identify as the weakness?
We need to see what has been the disconnect between our messaging and what the people have perceived about our messaging. That's exactly what we have to look into, because none of our campaigns messaging and construct and the promises were bad in any of these states. So we will have to look at how the feedback system from the people, whether it has reached or has got any feedback against us. That is the disconnect which we have to kind of look into it, and that's where we'll have to rework again. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes,
I will put this to Pavan. There is Rahul Gandhi being made an easy punching bag, but Nikhil Dave is wanting to come in. Can I just bring in Nikhil Dave for a second? Nikhil Dave, Pavan वर्मा ने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात की शिवराज सिंह चौहान मामा जी के बारे में, कि जिस तरह से एक तरह से उनको साइडलाइन किया था, उन्होंने अपनी पोजीशन, अपनी रेलेवेंस दिखा दी. मैं जानती हूँ कि इसके बारे में पार्टी शायद बहुत कुछ नहीं कह सकती, समर्थक होने के नाते आप भी नहीं कह सकते, पर आपको लगता है कि मामा जी को उसके साथ बेटर बर्ताव होना चाहिए था? एक सवाल. दूसरा सवाल, आपको लगता है कि अब उन्हीं को मुख्यमंत्री बनना चाहिए? निखिल जी?
मैम देखिए, एक बात तो ये कि किसी को साइडलाइन नहीं किया। शिवराज जी को अगर वो अगर सीएम फेस नहीं थे तो पार्टी ने कभी ये नहीं कहा कि वो सीएम फेस नहीं है। ये
सीएम
पार्टी की
फेस
एक
का ही नहीं
स्ट्रेटेजी
था।
थी, उसने सभी लीडर्स को चुनाव लड़वाया और ये हमेशा होते आया है भारतीय जनता पार्टी में। तो
जी।
ऐसा कहीं नहीं है कि उनको साइडलाइन किया। सबसे ज्यादा सभाएं मध्य प्रदेश में शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी ने करी है। जिस लाडली बहना को हम गेम चेंजर मान रहे हैं, वो गेम चेंजर शिवराज जी के चेहरे पर वो वोट गया है कहीं ना कहीं, इस बात को सब लोग मानते हैं। और ये पार्टी का डिसीजन है कि पार्टी किसको मुख्यमंत्री बनाती है, किसे कौन सा मंत्रिमंडल मिलता है। ये सब बहुत, और बीजेपी में ये सारी चीजें मुझे लगता है कि शायद कैलकुलेट नहीं की जाती हैं। इसीलिए बीजेपी आज इतनी स्ट्रांगली अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के दम पर चुनाव लड़ती है, चाहे फिर मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा कोई भी हो। यहाँ हम जैसा प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी कहते हैं कि हमारा चेहरा कमल का फूल है, हमारा मुख्यमंत्री प्रधानमंत्री कमल का फूल है, तो उसी थॉट के साथ में बीजेपी काम करती है। एक दूसरी चीज मैं जो ऐड करना चाहता हूँ, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर की जो बात हो रही है बीजेपी और कांग्रेस की दोनों में, तो जैसा अभी हमारे कांग्रेस के मित्र बता रहे थे कि कांग्रेस के पास में ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, बीजेपी के पास में है नहीं है। देखिए मैम, एक बड़ा जो अंतर आया है वो ये है कि शायद बीजेपी ने अपने वोटर को वर्कर की तरह कन्वर्ट कर लिया है। बीजेपी ने ये बीजेपी की एक बड़ी आइडियोलॉजिकल जीत है ये, कि उसका
जी।
जो वोटर है वो खुद प्रचार करता है। और दूसरा, कांग्रेस के साथ में जो सबसे बड़ा नुकसान है वो ये है कि कांग्रेस का जो वर्कर था, अब वो अपने आप को वोटर भी कांग्रेस का कहने में शर्माता है, संकोच करता है। तो ये एक कांग्रेस के आपके पास में हो सकता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगा, आपके पास में वर्कर्स होंगे, लेकिन वो वर्कर क्यों नहीं निकल रहे हैं, इसकी आप लोगों को चिंता करना चाहिए।
ये आपने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात की ऑन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड द रिस्पांस ऑफ द वर्कर. आई वांट क्विक responses from Mr. Bhamla and Sandeep Ghosh, and then I want to go back to Pavan because he's been very harsh on harsh scathing critique of Rahul Gandhi, but also very interesting appraisal. Sandeep, do you want to take that of the three leaders? Pavan, Sachin Pilot, not too unhappy, would be vindicated. Shivraj Singh Chauhan would be vindicated. And what did you say about Vasundhara? I missed that, Pavan. I want Pavan to just repeat his point about Vasundhara. Can we unmute him, please? Can we unmute
I
Pavan?
just said that
Pavan, yeah.
Vasundhara, who's a very dear friend and has been a competent chief minister, must have realized that her relevance to the leadership or the consequences of what she might perceive to be marginalization have not affected the results of the BJP on the ground.
So, but the Pavan, the assumption in Rajasthan is if it's a slender win, she still gets to be chief minister. If it's a comfortable win, she's out in the cold.
And not, I don't think she'll be out in the cold.
Well,
but
she won't be CM.
At least you see, the I won't call it redundancy, but the fact is that the High Command is fully in control of what happens in Rajasthan next.
That's right. I think that's very perceptive on those three leaders. Sandeep, come in. Can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Sorry. I'm not differing with Pavan, but I'll just try to give a slightly, varied perspective. First of all, Sachin Pilot. I think Sachin Pilot will have reasons to be extremely unhappy. He could not, right now he is really caught in no man's land. His utility for BJP has been severely damaged, and therefore, because he is no longer valuable for him to, whereas Gehlot has given a reasonably good fight despite him. He remains the tallest leader of Congress in Rajasthan. And for a variety of reasons, including Rajasthan has been a cash cow for Congress, they will not be able to totally replace Gehlot in the. So Sachin Pilot is neither here nor there. Vasundhara Raje, my own reading is BJP struck some kind of an understanding. There was a visit by Amit Shah after which they met, and she seemed to have been placated. And my sense is that placating is not with the promise of chief ministership. It is with the promise of something else. First of all, her son has been propped up, though he's not a chief minister candidate. rising star there, and she there, and maybe they can accommodate her with some kind of other thing, whether a position in the center or something. So I think she is kind of would be reconciled to the fact that okay, now it's time for her to move on to another stage. This is my reading on these two people primarily. And I will take another position as far as Pavan is concerned. I personally believe the Congress, for good or for bad, can't do without the Gandhis. The Congress in its this thing. Even if you see, for whatever it's worth, in the campaigning this time, it is Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi who really raised some degree of excitement. And everybody around today, even if you give them the full power, they are not capable of really running the party on their own steam. None of them have really got a base. See, like Kamalnath, even if he can't deliver Madhya Pradesh, what will he do? In Madhya Pradesh, who's his Betanoia? It is Digvijay Singh. So you've got so many such people, and the people who are really calling the shots today in Congress are people who I believe handles the communication department. People talking about Bharat
I
Jodo.
mean, the U2 song, right? Can't live with or without you. I think is the Congress situation with the Gandhis. I mean, not that anyone's saying we can't live with you. I know Matthew will take objection to
And,
that.
and
But
Bharat
but
Jodo,
sorry.
Bharat Jodo Yatra reminds us, somebody I spoke very senior in Congress, I don't want to name, in Madhya Pradesh, who reminded me of the Sarojini Naidu statement of how much it costs us to keep Bapu poor. एंड दे से दैट तुम तो वही देखते हो कि जो मीडिया में रिपोर्ट करते हैं, तुम्हें पता नहीं उसके ऊपर हमारा कितना खर्चा हो जाता है. सो मेनी पीपल ट्रैवलिंग, उसका देखभाल करो, उसको खाना पीना कराओ, और उसमें what is the benefit the state is receiving. So they are into a different mold. They
Okay.
have to
I'm so
reinvent
sorry.
themselves.
I'm so sorry. I'm cutting you short. Karthik, very briefly. Aarti Jairat is with us. Sriram Kari is with us. Pavan Varma is still with us. So is Matthew Anthony, Nikhil Dave, Asif Bhamla. The numbers, we have called this election for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, the Congress in Telangana. What is happening with Chhattisgarh? Karthik, quickly.
Chhattisgarh, Barkha, a quick and dirty analysis is Chhattisgarh BJP going the BJP way. The only reason why I have been a little cagey about it is because we knew it would be a keenly contested fight and seats could flip here and there. It's not like a washout for the Congress either, right? It's currently 53 to 36. Yeah, exactly. Now you may call this is a washout, but if 5 6 seats flip here and there, things could change. But I think we are in a position where very soon we can call this for the BJP because these trends have held and they've held for a long time now. It's not that these trends have just emerged. So I think this is almost ready to be called in favor of the BJP.
So the
Karthik,
way
one
it's
question:
looking,
the 5 seats
yeah.
of Telangana, others, how many of them are AIMM?
Yeah, we need the MIM breakdown. I've been asking for it
Yeah.
for a while. If we can please look at that quickly. But meanwhile,
Yeah.
I have to give some
So
1 minute.
MIM is
1 minute. Everybody, 1 minute, Mr. Bhavla. 1 minute. Do you have the MIM numbers? Karthikeya, why are you
MIM
pulling?
as per the election commission is 4 seats.
Now that is down for MIM. I want to actually, and can we please update our slides with the MIM actually represented there separately? If we can quickly do that. I have to give credit to Sriram Kari for one thing. Last week on this program, he said, I am calling the election for Congress in Telangana. I don't know about all the other Panditri, Sriram, but congratulations are owed to you. And it's the only state that has good news today for the Congress. Sriram, what's happening there and what's happening with the MIM? There, we have the leads for the MIM. Very interesting. Sriram, unmute yourself before you speak. The MIM stranglehold in the Hyderabad region appears to have been broken by the Congress as well. Go ahead, Sriram.
Barkha, the only reason I correctly called the state of Telangana for you is because despite knowing that I am from Chhattisgarh and MP, you did not ask me for my predictions on those two states.
What do you
Otherwise,
mean?
I would have got 3 out of
You're being
4.
sarcastic. You're being sarcastic.
No. 17 of my classmates, seniors or juniors are fighting for Congress or BJP in MP. 7
Acha.
candidates in Chhattisgarh across 2 parties. I was born in Chhattisgarh, which was then MP. I studied in MP. My own
Oh my
classmates.
God. I didn't know that.
Nobody asked because I'm based in Hyderabad. I'm a poor colonial cousin now. tyranny of distance.
Let's come back to the politics. What's going on with the MIM? What's going on with the sweep? What happens to BRS now? The
MIM
BJP
was
has
down.
hang on. The BJP has improved its vote share. Go ahead, make sense of Telangana first.
Well, there's only one set of people who can stop the Modi juggernaut in India today, and that's the state Telangana BJP leaders. Give it to them, Barkha. That they have defied the Modi wave, the possibility of the resurgence of BJP. If anybody can stop Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, it's the Telangana state BJP leadership. Everybody in the country should acknowledge that. Having said that, the MIM is down to 3. Nampalli and Malakpet are going to Congress, and MIM swinging rapidly round on round. And 2 seats, Karwan and which is the 4th one? Yakutpura and Karwan are going to BJP. So half the Lok Sabha, 4 out of 7 seats, MIM is fighting for the first time in 30 years with a possibility of defeat looming large. This is the beer hug of KCR that brought MIM down. The perception that KCR was with BJP and Modi, the perception that MIM was also with Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, and that together all of them are huddled together, is KCR was coming 3rd in Kamareddy behind Revant Reddy of Congress and the BJP candidate Venkat Reddy in Karimnagar.
Yeah.
KCR was also trailing in his core constituency of Gajwel, though is now back to leading. Revant is winning both seats. So what we are witnessing is something extraordinary, but not at all surprising.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. I do want to actually say bye to guests who've been with us and welcome our new guests in. Mr. Bhavna, quick comment before we say goodbye to you. Quick comment before we say thank you to you, Mr. Bhavna.
Before we conclude, all I would like to say is that irrespective which way the state assembly contest, of course, we'll know in a few moments from now. Today, one thing is clear, that the economic growth momentum that was created by the Honorable PM during his second term, the narrative, the vision, towards a developed India by 2047 have seen no political counter. Let me tell you that there has been no political opponents or no opposition to his plan, to his roadmap, and to his role modelship. So beyond regressive ideas, to just create to create a consensus and a list of freebies, there is nothing much the opposition has been able to offer to the ruling arrangement. And we are not very happy about it, because we also want a strong opposition. But we see that they're not able to counter by giving anything by bringing anything to the table, just making conscious by just providing.
I have to welcome my other guests. I'm going to say thank you to you now. If 30 seconds are want to be made by Sandeep and
Barkha, I would like to make a statement before I leave.
Yes, please, Matthew.
Okay, I just want to make a statement that Congress party is proud to have Gandhi's family with us. We have no shame at all, irrespective of however the propaganda is to beat a family down, because the sacrifices made by the family and the popularity of the family with the country's people is very significant. And then we have fought a good battle. We had our promises good. We had a good campaign. We will accept the results, but that doesn't mean that we are in a bad position. We are in a wrong organization or anything of that sort. We are here to serve the people of this country, and we are very clear about it. Thank you, and thank
Matthew,
you, Barkha, for taking me here.
Thank you, Matthew. Take care. Sandeep, last thoughts before we let you go, and then we move on.
Before signing off, to tell Karthik, you can call the Telangana elections, but don't as yet call who will form the government. That's it.
Really? You still think that's an open question, Sandeep? Looking at the numbers in Telangana? Can I just go back? Can I go back? Hang on. Sriram is fighting vociferously. Sriram, you want to come in? I can hold that thought. I want Pavan, before we lose Pavan, we've got a new hour starting. I want to welcome our new guest, Nishchay Bajpai. Sandeep, feel free to stay on if you have a few minutes. Nishchay Bajpai of the BJP. Namaskar, sir. आपकी ये जो आंकड़े हैं, मैं छत्तीसगढ़ के बारे में 2 मिनट के बाद बात करना चाहूंगी. आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए. Pavan and Aarti, I want big pictures from you. Pavan just said that the Congress is in the stranglehold of inept leadership. He
I
also
will leave
said,
by that.
okay, Sandeep, thank you. He also said, Aarti, that three leaders, he said Vasundhara has realized that sidelining her didn't make a difference to the BJP. Shivraj is vindicated. Sachin is not unhappy. Do you want to add to that perspective? And very strong words he made about the Congress leadership. Aarti?
See, Barkha, if we compare the way the BJP approached these elections and the way the Congress approached these elections, the Congress took the Karnataka template and decided to use that in all the states, except Telangana, where it actually promoted a new leader, a new face, Revant Reddy. But in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh, and in Rajasthan, it just took the Karnataka template and just put it in place in these states and decided local for vocal or whatever, and promoted local leaders and so on, completely forgetting that if you look at the vintage of these leaders, except for Bhupesh Baghel, who's younger and newer, Kamalnath, Digvijay Singh, Ashok Gehlot, they all belong to the 1977-1980 vintage. Barkha, they are, leaders who are probably past their expiry date. They're all in their 70s, nothing new to offer, nothing new to say. They ran tired campaigns, offering sops as if you can just buy voters with, by throwing rarity at them. It doesn't work like that. The BJP, on the other hand, is so agile. Although the BJP has in the past promoted local faces and projected state leaderships as CM aspirants, this time they decided to go with collective leadership. They decided to bring in leaders from the center, put them back in the state, and they relied on brand Modi. Modi was the face of the campaign. He led the charge. He led from the front. Look at the number of rallies he addressed in Madhya Pradesh. He has never addressed so many rallies in the state election, except maybe UP, because UP is a larger state. So, they just change their strategy. You see, they think on their feet. The Congress, unfortunately, lacks that ability to, do fresh thinking, to come up with new strategies. One thing works somewhere, they use the same strategy somewhere else, and they've paid for it. So, I think really hats off to the BJP for being able to pull this off. This is entirely, whatever you may say about Ladli Behna and all, I'm sure it contributed, but the BJP has never won so big in Madhya Pradesh. And I would say that a large part of the credit for the BJP's victory in Madhya Pradesh and the turnaround in Rajasthan, the fact that they won it, and possibly are in position to win Chhattisgarh, this is entirely due to Narendra Modi. So he is now the man in charge. He has also established his dominance in North India. I would hesitate to talk about a North-South divide at this point of time, but what he tried in Karnataka did not work in Karnataka, but it worked really well in North India. So, clearly Modi is very much.
And I want to say to Pavan, just a question to Pavan. Shruti Kapila, who's a professor at Cambridge University, welcome to the program. Manu Sharma is back with us. Nishchay ji, मैं आपके पास 2 minute में आ रही हूँ. Pavan, picking up on what Aarti said, Pandits got it wrong. All of us went on about, the BJP hasn't learned from its mistakes in Karnataka. Why is it sidelining Shivraj? Why is it sidelining Vasundhara? Why does it not recognize that state elections are different from national elections? All commonsensical questions. We didn't understand. What did we not understand? And when I say we, I'm using the we loosely. Generally, pundits and journalists, not anyone in particular. Pavan?
What we did not understand is that the only way you can counter the BJP is by 3 things. First of all, a new grassroots leader. Secondly, a new face. And thirdly, organizational rigor. If you don't have these, and I'm sorry, very sorry. Fourthly, a new and alternative comprehensible vision with the ability to carry it out to the masses. If you don't have these 4,
but where is this face?
you cannot
Where is this face? Can you pick a face instead of the face that you have You've
No,
said Rahul Gandhi is inept.
no,
Who is the face
no.
instead
I
that you
said
see?
that I said broadly that the Congress is lacking organization and it has inept leadership because there is no organizational feedback. So therefore, I feel that among the faces that we see today, we have strong and competent leaders at the regional level. But there is no pan-Indian leader who has all of these four qualities with a pan-Indian footprint. So long as that is there, the BJP with its electoral machine, with the face, with the narrative, and an ideology is not defeatable.
Okay, Pavan, stay as long as you can. Thank you for those insights. Kartik, are you finally calling Chhattisgarh? Because मुझे निश्चय जी से बात करनी है जो बीजेपी के नेता हैं छत्तीसगढ़ से. Please मुझे छत्तीसगढ़ के बारे में बता दीजिए.
Chhattisgarh can be called to for the BJP Barkha, but can I just make a point? I think we have to take things into a little perspective. When you are saying your question per se, when you say that this was the Prime Minister's election, what did we see not coming? They have won. I would say that there are two different kinds of victories here. Rajasthan and MP are not the same kinds of victories. The Rajasthan victory, which is largely a product of the Prime Minister and the BJP symbol, is not as convincing. Again, I will just harp on that. If the BJP had put in a state leader with credibility, with a past track record, probably this number would have been 130, 140.
But can I ask you something? Can I ask you
Madhya
something?
Pradesh, please.
Are we now saying that the BJP has taken 3 of the 4 states? Are we now formally calling it?
We are calling it, but I'm making an additional point, which
I got your point. I got your point,
Yeah.
and I want Pavan and
Yeah.
Aarti to respond to it. That no two states are alike. लेकिन निश्चय जी, नमस्कार. और आंकड़ों के मुताबिक बीजेपी की लीड 53 में, कांग्रेस के 35 में. ये कैसे हुआ? बहुत लोगों ने कहा था कि भाई बघेल साहब की ही विक्ट्री है. रमन सिंह को भी मुख्यमंत्री कैंडिडेट तो कभी डिक्लेयर नहीं किया. इन आंकड़ों को आप किस तरह से देखते हैं निश्चय जी?
देखिए, हमारे यहाँ जो भूपेश बघेल जी की सरकार रही है वो विज्ञापन की सरकार रही है और विज्ञापन के माध्यम से उन्होंने एक ऐसा दृश्य बनाने का प्रयास किया कि वो बहुत लोकप्रिय हैं और बहुत लोकहितकारी काम कर रहे हैं, जबकि वस्तुतः वो केवल हर क्षेत्र में घोटाले कर रहे थे। ये सच्चाई जिसको यहाँ की जनता जानती थी। उसके साथ साथ इन्होंने यहाँ के जनता के साथ, सभी वर्गों के साथ जो वादे किए उससे वादा खिलाफी भी की। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि महिलाओं के साथ जिस तरह की शराबबंदी का वादा किया था, लेकिन शराब की अवैध बिक्री को इतना बढ़ाया कि हर घर उससे प्रभावित हुआ और महिला समूहों को काम छीनने से लेकर के उनके रोजगार छीनने से लेकर ग्रामीण स्थिति बहुत खराब रही। महिलाओं के बीच में बहुत आक्रोश था। ऐसे ही युवाओं के साथ में इन्होंने जो है जिस तरीके से पीएससी के पद अपने परिवारों में बांटे और अपने बेचने का काम किया, उसके साथ साथ जितने माफिया और अपराधी हैं उनको बढ़ाने का काम किया। इसको लेकर के जनता के बीच में बहुत आक्रोश था और ये परिणाम पहले से ही बड़ा सुस्पष्ट था हम लोगों के बीच में, मगर विज्ञापनों की चकाचौंध में और आतिशबाजी में संभवतः ये दूसरे लोगों को नहीं सुनाई दे रहा था। वो परिणाम के रूप में अभी सामने आ रहा है।
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी कि अगर मतलब बीजेपी की सरकार तो बनते हुए दिख रही है, मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेंगे?
देखिए, मुख्यमंत्री का निर्णय तो संसदीय दल में होगा और विधायक दल में बैठ के निर्णय होगा। ये इसके लिए थोड़ी प्रतीक्षा करनी होगी।
निश्चित हमारे साथ बने रहिए। अश्विनी शाही बीजेपी के नेता है, वो भी हमारे साथ है। लेकिन मैं चाहती हूँ कि पवन वर्मा कार्तिकी बत्रा का पॉइंट उठाएं। इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट पवन. इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट you and Aarti have clubbed all 3 states is the point he's making, that none of these victories are simply explained. There are different factors. I think that's the point, Karthik, you're making, right? That there are different factors at play in all 3 states. So when you generalize and you say it's the Congress's inept leadership, it's the Modi factor, he's saying that formula may not work as neatly.
No, let me clarify what I was saying. That in Rajasthan.
Sorry, Pavan, last comment. You can go after that. Karthik, quickly.
I was saying in Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje was kept on the back burner until the end. But in Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Chauhan was brought into the campaign as its face in the last few stages.
But not formally, but not officially.
No, but he was the one leader. Everybody saw him because he took charge. If you look at the last 2 lists also of the Madhya Pradesh.
Okay, let Pavan quickly respond. Pavan quickly respond because the others are waiting to speak. Yeah, go ahead, Pavan.
Yes, that's my last comment, Barkha. I have to go for another
Yeah,
time.
sure.
Quickly, you see, each state is different, but the difference I think is that Telangana was different to Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Now, why do I say that? In Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, to be honest, it is the failing of the Congress party, and I must continue to repeat like a stuck record. There is no substitution for ground level organizational rigor. You cannot win battles on slogans, on leaders, on promises, on projection. You have to have that cadre in an organized basis. How in the country, ask the Congress party, how many block development officers posts are, party posts are lying vacant for months, if not years. So that has never happened. You may have elections, but you know that the body is packed and that a person who has the temerity to stand is ostracized. So let's not be, the party needs a revamp. The Telangana, the Congress has won, and I give it credit for it, but it is largely a default victory because there was fatigue for 10 years of KCR, although he did a lot for the state. And by now, there was a mood for change. I always said that either Congress will come to a comfortable majority or the BRS will scrape through. There is a
Yeah.
mood for change, it's a comfortable majority. And that is what has happened in Telangana.
Okay, Pavan, we let you go. You've given us a lot of food for thought, a lot of provocative appraisals. You never disappoint on that. I know Sriram will have things to say about what you said about Telangana. I need the slides to change. Let's open up. S.V. Ramani of the Congress. Pavan, thank you. S.V. Ramani of the Congress, Ashwini Shahi of the BJP, Dr. Shruti Kapila. Let's get first comments. Manu is back with us. S.V. Ramani, disappointed? The BJP's taken 3 or 4 states. We're calling it now. We were waiting for Chhattisgarh, but it looks pretty much certain that the BJP is going to form the government unless there's some last moment sort of surprise that we can't anticipate. Telangana is yours. It's a big win, but you have been wiped out, so to speak, in the Hindi-speaking heartland. Mr. Ramani, your thoughts?
Disappointing to some extent because even I have a lot of respect for Pavan, but I still believe that the elections were fought by us in a very competitive manner in all the 3 states. And as far as organization is concerned, in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh, we have had a wonderful organization, even at the grassroots level. So I don't think that that's the reason for our defeat or would be defeat there. But it is really surprising because in Rajasthan, we have done the government of Ashok Gehlot was very much acclaimed as one of the people's government. Some of the policies which they have brought, some of the schemes which he has brought in, and also some of the guarantees which we have projected at the time of elections, they were well received by the people. And also, people may say that there was a misunderstanding between him and Mr. Sachin Pilot, but that was a thing in the past because last 1 year, they have worked very well together, they have gelled very well together, and the entire team worked together. So it is a surprise for us that, we lost Rajasthan. Similarly, in Chhattisgarh, some of the schemes of the Chief Minister have reached even to the downtrodden, almost 100% of the people, the schemes have reached. The farmers have benefited, the poor people have benefited, the women have benefited. There was a overall
but do you see a north-south? Do you see
a consensus?
Okay, I'm going to sorry, I'm saying there are many questions for you, including whether there's a north-south divide in Indian politics. But Karthik, 30 seconds to you before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your birthday. Manu Sharma is here to take us through the remaining numbers. Karthik, quick last word. And Sriram, I'm coming to everybody one by one. Quickly, Karthik.
I think this is a victory. The BJP has swept the Hindi heartland, but I don't think we can discount the local leadership factor. Organization, definitely the BJP is ahead. We have no doubts about it. But I will stick my neck out that the BJP has done well state after state elections, where the central leadership's charisma has been complemented by the credibility of a strong state leadership. And that's where you see the difference in Madhya
But how
Pradesh's
does
margin.
that apply? How does that apply in these states where no chief ministerial candidate was declared?
That's exactly the point I'm trying to drive home for the last couple of hours, Barkha, that let's put things into perspective. The Rajasthan victory is a victory. The Madhya Pradesh victory is a sweep. There is a difference, and the difference is caused by the fact that the Rajasthan narrative and the campaign were very scattered. The Rajasthan campaign was fought against a government which essentially did not work for the first 3-4 years. But in the last 1 year, it gained enough ground to give the BJP a tough fight. But look at Madhya Pradesh, where you had such strong anti-incumbency, and in the last 3-4 months, a chief minister swings it around with 157 seats out of 230. So I'm saying that local leadership's role, whether the BJP or the Congress, cannot be discounted. But the Congress's victory in Telangana should give its hope. Its fight in Rajasthan should give its hope. Man of the match for me today is Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
I think we all agree. I think we probably all agree on that. And Revant Reddy would possibly, for Congress supporters, come up close second. And even objectively, I think those are the two big heroes of today. Shriram on his phone. So let me get Ashwini Shahi and Dr. Kapila in. Ashwini ji, एक बीजेपी प्रवक्ता होने के नाते बड़ी जीत है बीजेपी के लिए, खास करके नॉर्थ इंडिया में. इसको आप किस रूप से देखेंगे? क्योंकि बार बार ये सवाल उठाया जा रहा है कि इन तीनों ही प्रदेशों में बीजेपी ने एक सीएम कैंडिडेट, एक सीएम फेस नहीं डिक्लेयर किया, फिर भी जीत हुई.
बरखा जी, ये जीत माननीय मोदी जी की उन गारंटियों की है जिन पर पूरा देश विश्वास करता है. विश्व के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता की गारंटी है और उस पर जनता ने भरोसा किया है. ये जीत हमारे अर्ध पन्ना प्रमुखों की है जिन्होंने दमखम लगा दिया, चाहे वो छत्तीसगढ़ हो, चाहे मध्य प्रदेश हो, चाहे राजस्थान हो. ये हार उस जादूगर की है जो अपने जादू पर भरोसा कर रहा था, वो छूमंतर हो गया. ये हार उस गोबर घोटाले वाले मुख्यमंत्री का है जो गोबर 229 करोड़ का खा गया. ये हार उस नकली हिंदू कमलनाथ का है कि जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के 2014 के सरकार आने के बाद एक हिंदू बनने का नाटक कर रहे थे और कांग्रेसियों ने तो किताब में लिख दिया बोको हरम और पता नहीं किससे तुलना कर दी. ये जनता की जीत है और माननीय मोदी जी का चेहरा किसी से कम है क्या? बरखा जी, आप कह रही हैं कि प्रदेश में नेतृत्व, अब विधायक दल की बैठक होगी, उसमें नेता चुना जाएगा. नेता चुनने के बाद संसदीय बोर्ड जिस पर मोहर लगाएगा वो मुख्यमंत्री होगा. लेकिन उस मुख्यमंत्री के बारे में सोचिए जो अपने अहंकार में हार गया. एक तो केंद्रीय नेतृत्व कांग्रेस का अहंकार में, दूसरा अशोक गहलोत जी की कांग्रेस अहंकार में लड़ गए लोग. उस मर्दों का प्रदेश वाले को टिकट दे दिया. बलात्कार होते रहेंगे तो जनता, आधी महिलाएं, आधी आबादी है, उन्होंने अपने वोट के अधिकार से बता दिया.
आपने मोदी जी को आपने क्रेडिट दिया, ठीक बात है, लेकिन आपने शिवराज जी, जिसको हम सब मैन ऑफ द मैच कह रहे हैं, उनको क्रेडिट क्यों नहीं दिया? रमन सिंह को
मेरी बात अभी पूरी नहीं हुई थी बरखा जी. मैं सबके बारे में कह रहा हूं. लाडली बहना योजना, शिवराज जी की, अब लखपति बहना की बात कर रहे हैं वो. शिवराज जी की योजनाओं को, आधी आबादी की मैंने बात शुरू किया था, उसमें अधूरे रह जाएंगे शिवराज जी अगर उनकी बात नहीं होगी. उन्होंने अपने पूरे प्रदेश के वो मामा हैं. महिलाओं ने किस तरीके से बढ़ चढ़कर हाथ में लिया उनको, और किसके लिए? भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आधी आबादी के लिए काम किया है. चाहे हम जो है नारी बंधन अधिनियम की हम बात करें और चाहे लाडली बहना की बात करें, हमने ही उनको देखा है. तो आज ये जीत जो है हर उस कार्यकर्ता की है, हर उस नेता की है, हर उस नेतृत्व क्या है जिसके बारे में ये अभी कुछ दिन पहले, क्या 2 दिन पहले, 4 दिन पहले तक ये कह रहे थे लोग कि कांग्रेस कांग्रेस कांग्रेस. कांग्रेस खत्म है. इस जो मोहब्बत की दुकान खोले थे वहां से वो भारत तोड़ो यात्रा में वो नफरत की दुकान में बदलकर बंद हो गई वो दुकान, और जनता उस दुकान को खोलने नहीं देना चाहती है. चाहे कन्हैया दर्जी की हत्या हो, चाहे वो वहां गोबर घोटाला हो.
लेकिन तेलंगाना की जीत भी, मैं आती हूँ आपके पास वापस. डॉक्टर कपिला, if you want to come in, and Shriram, if we can add Shriram back, I really want to talk a little bit about Telangana also. Dr. Kapila, do you now see a very clear, I know I think Aarti who said I don't want to get into the North-South divide, but is there something taking shape in that form? Because Yogendra Yadav, who's a supporter of Rahul Gandhi, he earlier on this program was saying that the Congress must introspect how it fails to take winnable elections and why it can't convert winnable elections into victories. Your take, Shruti.
Yogendra Yadav.
Sorry, Shruti, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Just start all over again, please. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to ignore because I haven't heard what Yadav said. But I actually think I'll be with Aarti Jairath, and I'd like to kind of keep my powder dry on the north and south division that appears to be to have taken place. I actually think that actually, regardless of this, the problem remains, or the issue remains in India, that you're going to have a one dominant party and very other smaller parties in contention. This was the Congress story for 40-50 years. With the BJP, you're getting a party state. I have argued that it's not simply a party, but it's a party state. Now, this poses a real identity crisis for the Congress because it is a national party. It is not a regional party, and that is why it is doing extremely well in fighting regional parties. And now the question comes, what is going to happen to the alliance? I have always said that actually the alliance is a contradiction because it actually is a fight between the Congress and regional parties for actually Congress's remaking. Because wherever we have seen in the north, certainly head-to-head BJP and the Congress, that is not a winning battle for the Congress just yet. And it's not simply about welfarism. It has a lot to do with what has happened with 30 years of Hindu nationalism, which is now seeped in. It is part of the DNA of the Indian politics.
Why did you, when you call the BJP a party state, what does that do to the idea of alliances or the India alliance?
I mean, I actually don't believe in that alliance. I mean, I have not believed it from the get-go. It is a great name.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
Precisely because the nature of political competition is that if you look at the deep structure of as it were party formations and movement in India, you have dominant parties and federalist regional parties. Those regional parties today have saturated. They are going through a generational shift. They are also going through, as it were, a crisis of their own. They have actually all saturated all OBC parties. And to that extent, Rahul Gandhi saying, as it were, caste census required is also moving into that turf because that is the obvious thing to do. Now, that actually poses a problem because your alliance is really the Congress plus these smaller parties. When you're actually in real competition with them, and for the Congress, it actually succeeds against the smaller parties. So what is it going to do now in Uttar Pradesh? Is it actually going to take on the SP over the long term? Or is it going to be in an alliance? Same with RJD, same with other places. But I actually do think that India it's not a north-south divide because in the south too, as I said, there are other smaller parties, the DMK, the CPM. So it's not going to be easy for the Congress to actually prevail there in 2024 either.
What's interesting, Shruti, is even as you say this, the Congress has called for an India Alliance meeting, in the next couple of days. Sriram is wanting to respond to what you said. Also, the pictures you see on your screen are perhaps the only state where the Congress can celebrate. Telangana, Revant Reddy taking out a roadshow there. Sriram, you've heard a lot. North-South divide, local factors. Was it anti-incumbency? And I'm coming to Aarti right after that. Sriram, go ahead.
I believe there is a very strong north-south divide. I am the only panelist here from South and you're not letting me speak at all.
I'm so sorry. Punjabi bias. Go ahead, Sriram.
जो व्यक्ति गुड़गांव में बैठता है वो तेलंगाना के बारे में जानता है, लेकिन मैं हैदराबाद में हूँ, मुझे छत्तीसगढ़ के बारे में मालूम नहीं है. मैं बिलासपुर से, रायपुर से, भिलाई से, राजनांदगांव का एग्जैक्ट डिस्टेंस बतला सकता हूँ. मैं बिलासपुर में पैदा हुआ हूँ, मैं मध्य प्रदेश में पढ़ा हूँ.
आप बोलिए प्लीज
नहीं देंगी क्योंकि मैं दक्षिण भारतीय हूँ, मुझे हिंदी नहीं आता है.
चलो श्रीराम बताइए.
नहीं, मगर मैं ये जरूर बताना चाहता हूँ, ये जब मैं पिछले 30 दिन मेरा फोकस बहुत रिवर्ट टू इंग्लिश. Barkha, my point was this. In the last 45 days, I was watching debate. I did not want to get on any debate. But in our office, we were doing exit polls and I wrote all the 3 North Indian states for BJP and somebody thought I'm out of my mind. And they said, why? And I said, have you realized the shadow of January 22nd is already fallen from Ayodhya right down to the south of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. No, the whole debate and entire media never said Ram Temple is there, Jan 22nd. We begin to see images. And nobody talked as if it's an issue or a sub-thought at all. And I believe that was playing a factor in these as much as many others. We are already in that kind of thing. But it missed everybody. But let me, since I am the provincial expert, go back to my subject of Telangana. As I predicted on your TV channel, Barkha, you'll be very happy to know, no journalist on television on any national channel from Hyderabad said anything except BRS was winning. You are the only channel to get it right. And not surprisingly at all, I'm pretty sure by the final count, the margin of Congress will become bigger because the vote shares I'm seeing on different channels or whatever, my own estimate is it will be far bigger. The fact
Can
that
we
the
look at the Telangana vote share? I just want to bring up the slide
and
to talk about
MIM is
Telangana,
down to
please.
3 or 4. MIM is losing minimum 3 seats. They're going up and down, up and down, up and down rapidly. But my point is, even if they win all, let's say 6 out of 7, the fact is MIM has been jolted out of stupor and overconfidence. BRS has been defeated. You said it was strong words when I said more than the campaign of Congress. Yes, Congress did nothing wrong, but the people of this state well and truly wanted to kick out this government. And I'm saying it again, this is the resolve of the people. Congress merely aligned to it well. And yes, I go by the dictate of the wisdom of Napoleon that I'm not scared of an army of lions led by a sheep, but I am scared of an army of sheep led by one lion. Revant Reddy is the single reason why I believed 18. The only two people who could have defeated KCR, one was Bandi Sanjay, one was Revant Reddy. Thankfully for Congress, BJP eliminated
BJP replaced Bandi Sanjay. Aarti, you wanted to come in. Shriram, don't go away. You'll go away, then you'll say they don't let you speak.
I'll take my whole team for lunch. I'll be back.
Okay, lunch. Okay, go and eat lunch. Go get. But you went, we didn't send you off before we were accused of North Indian bias. Aarti, go ahead. Aarti, go ahead.
You know, Barkha, I think one thing is becoming increasingly clear, and these assembly results really prove it, which is, I think, why all of us, you know, all the exit polls and everything went so wrong. The Congress roots in the North are decaying. You know, they have more or less died in UP. They have more or less died in Bihar. Now you're seeing Madhya Pradesh also, the fact that the Congress has not been able to win this state for the last 4 or 5 terms. You know, I mean, it won briefly 5 years ago, but, you know, it was snatched away from them. So the Congress roots are decaying in the North. Even in Rajasthan, it had Ashok Gehlot, it won. But if you remember, Ashok Gehlot's victory last time, 5 years ago, was a bare victory. He did not win a full-scale majority. He had to form his government with the help of independents. So, you know, the organizationally, what Pavan was talking about, the organization, the roots of the Congress in North India are decaying, in some places already dead. In the South, on the other hand, and I think, again, this is being proved by recent assembly elections, the Congress still has roots. Maybe dormant, like in Telangana, they've been dormant. But if the people decide that they want to kick out an incumbent government because they are fed up, the default option becomes a Congress, because a Congress is still there. The BJP has not been able to shed its image of a North Indian Hindu party, you know, and I think the South is still not ready to accept the BJP. And that is why the Congress still survives there.
I just wanted to ask you how we understand Chhattisgarh, where the chief minister was widely perceived to be a kind of effective incumbent, an efficient, effective.
So again, you know, this is where we talk about the organization, you know, the election management. You know, the BJP has been working, and, you know, the BJP is very lucky that it has in the RSS backroom, you know, kind of a backroom boy or a backroom organization that is continuously working for them, you know, amongst the tribals, amongst the scheduled castes, you know, amongst Hindus. It is continuously working. I think they got a jolt last time when they lost all these 3 states, and they have been working. You know that they've been doing a sustained outreach amongst tribals. They have managed to create a polarization between the, you know, Christian Adivasis and the non-Christian Adivasis, which has worked to their advantage. You saw in Bastar this time, the, you know, BJP has actually gained a number of seats, you know, which I think is, you know, given them that boost in Chhattisgarh. And also in Madhya Pradesh. So, you know, the fact is that the Congress, you know, the Congress depends on a Hava. Hava came their way in Telangana, they sat on it and they rode it. You know, in the north, the Hava, there is no Hava for the Congress, because where is the Congress in the north? Do we see it? It's not even alive.
Okay,
And,
let me take your.
Ashok
Let me.
Gehlot thought that his welfare schemes would,
Yeah.
get him votes. But, I think one thing, and this is the great thing for Indian democracy, because this was supposed to be a fight of welfare schemes versus welfare schemes, right? People did not this time. I don't think welfare schemes influenced their decisions. They went for something more than welfare schemes. And yes, I think the Hindutva narrative of the BJPs has taken root in the north, and it is only going to grow stronger as the parliamentary polls.
And yet, what Ashwini Shahi called the Nakli Hindu. Where leaders, Manu, you can back this up. Karthik was making the point that the Congress's strike rate in Rajasthan has been better than the Congress's strike rate in Madhya Pradesh. So where Kamalnath was, seen to be this very astute Sharad Pawar-esque, practicing Hindu, he even Rajiv Gandhi was the first one to unlock, Ayodhya. Actually, the strike rate has been much worse. This sort of soft Hindutva, imitative Hindutva has not worked for the Congress, seemingly. Manu Sharma?
I have a slightly different take here. If it were not for Kamalnath, Congress would have fared even worse in Madhya Pradesh. And the reason for that is that one has to understand the underpinnings of a state that is going to the polls. I've said this before. If Gujarat is the Mount Everest of saffron politics, Madhya Pradesh is K2. It's the Godwin Austen. It's the second tallest. You have a 4-term government heading into the polls, and yet not only were they, in the reckoning, they've swept the election. So there is something going on at the organizational level, and also there is something to tell about the electorate. So just as, analysts proudly say, okay, in Kerala, BJP will find it hard to, expand with its brand of politics. I believe anybody who takes a far, left of center plank in Madhya Pradesh will find it equally hard. It's just
But
how the
Kamalnath
states
didn't do
are.
that. But Kamalnath did not
He
do
didn't
that.
do that. He didn't do that because, even to be competitive in the state, he had to have the plank that he, was riding on. If he would have chosen something different, it would have been even worse. Now, coming to Rajasthan, what happened in Rajasthan? Rajasthan, the politics is about a lot of personalities. And Congress actually was helped by a very strong dissenting group within the BJP. And there were also factions within the Congress itself. So the political scenario in Rajasthan was one of divisions, and ultimately, which party was more divided? It was all about that. And in Madhya Pradesh, it was actually about Kamalnath versus the organizational might of the BJP and its extended parivar. So it was an uphill battle. And with Mahakaushal and Chambal underperforming, that was his only realistic route to win. And Chambal was taken away by Jyotiraditya Scindia. So he was fighting an uphill battle anyway.
Okay, so those are, by the way, pictures coming from the one celebration of the Congress. That's Revanth Reddy in Telangana. Of course, we're going to see big celebrations break out in the 3 BJP states. But Manu makes a very interesting point that while everyone's lashing out at Kamalnath for being overestimated, things could have been even worse for the Congress had he not played the campaign the way he did. निश्चय जी, आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, एक चर्चा ये भी चल रही है कि अगर बीजेपी की जीत को देखते हुए शायद टीएस सिंहदेव भी आपकी तरफ आ जाए, ये भी बहुत चर्चा चल रही है. आप इस पे क्या बोलेंगे?
नहीं, मैं इस पे कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा. कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं की मेहनत का परिणाम है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक बड़ी जीत दर्ज कर रही है. तो ये जो आप चर्चा बोल रही हैं, इसका तो मुझे नहीं संदर्भ समझ में आ रहा, लेकिन इस पे मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा. एक बात जरूर बोलना चाहता हूँ. जितना हम समझते हैं, राजनीति में कोई जादू नहीं होता कि 2 महीना पहले आके ये वाला कैंपेन कर दिया, 1 महीना पहले आके, या इस तरीके की कोई भी चीजें नहीं होती. और कोई सरकार जिसने 90 में से 71 सीटें पाई हो और उसकी सारी योजनाएं जो है ग्रास रूट पे जा रही थी, जैसा मैं सुन रहा था आपके विद्वानों को, कि महिलाओं के लिए भी, किसानों के लिए भी, युवाओं के लिए भी, सबके लिए उनकी योजना थी और बहुत वो लोकप्रिय थे. तो फिर कैसे जो है 71 सीटों की, 90 में से 71, वो सरकार जो है मुंह के बल गिरती है, औंधे मुंह गिरती है, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता और कोई जादू राजनीति में नहीं होता है। आप जनता जो है बहुत समझदार हो चुकी है, विवेकशील है, आपकी नीयत को जानती है और आपकी योजनाओं के विज्ञापन और आपकी योजनाओं के धरातल पे जो असर है उसके अंतर को जानती है। मूलतः ये बात सही है कि जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का विचार है, गरीब की सहूलियत के लिए काम करना, जिसके लिए मोदी जी काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे यहाँ 13 लाख मकान ऐसे थे बरखा जी, जो केंद्र से स्वीकृत होके आए, कच्ची छत वालों के मकान, उसको भूपेश बघेल जी ने वापस कर दिया। हम इनके मकान नहीं बनने देंगे, प्रधानमंत्री का नाम है इसमें। और यहाँ पे आयुष्मान की योजना को 2 वर्षों तक लटकाया गया। यहाँ पे 3 वर्षों तक जो कोरोना का राशन आया सारे गरीब परिवारों के लिए, वो सारे के सारे राशन का घोटाला कर दिया गया, सबको बाजार में ले जाके बेच दिया गया, गरीबों को राशन नहीं दिया गया कोरोना का। तो ऐसी तमाम बातें हैं और इतने घोटाले हुए हैं, ये वास्तव में जो छत्तीसगढ़ की ग्राउंड रियलिटी को जानता है। जनता 3 साल पहले भी उनकी मानसिकता वैसी हो चुकी थी और 6 महीने बाद ही, मतलब 2018 के विधानसभा चुनाव के बाद 6 महीने बाद जब लोकसभा का चुनाव हुआ था तो एक तरफा हराने का काम कांग्रेस को किया था और वही परिणाम अभी विधानसभा